Great. So today I'm going to be teaching on motivation. This is something that we learned in this class, and I think it's one of the biggest things that's going to be used in the classroom. So we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so I want to start off with a game to kind of help understand motivation. So I want you to take just like 10 seconds, go grab a piece of paper, and I want you to just draw anything that you like, anything that you enjoy. Go ahead and just take a couple of seconds and draw that. Okay, now this time I am going to have you submit what you do a drawing, and I want you to get it for the prize. You only have about 10 seconds to do it. So the best drawing you can. Okay, so this is an experiment that was used um, a couple years ago. They test kids in drawings and how that influences students' motivation. So they had kids where they were like, okay, let's go ahead and have you draw and let's just have it do it for fun. And then they also had them do it for a prize. And then they had at the end for one of the groups, they had them do it for fun. And then at the end, they got a prize, not for what they did best. These are different types of motivation. And from this, we see intrinsic motivation. This is where you're doing it in your best interest and it's just something that you want to do. You're not doing it for others. It's inside of you, why it's intrinsic. And then there's extrinsic motivation. This is where things outside of, maybe I like to think of it as extra things in motivation. This can be prizes and different things like that, rewards. You're looking for something. So if we go back to the kids in the drawings, you can see the kids doing it for fun. They were doing it for themselves. They were in for themselves. How they did depended on them. And so that becomes intrinsic motivation. While those doing it for a prize, they were using extrinsic motivation because they were being motivated by the prize. And then the unknowing prize is a little bit of both. You are doing it for fun, but that at the end you get that extrinsic motivation when for the most part it was just intrinsic motivation the whole time. And from the study, you can see that kids that were doing it for fun versus those who did it for a prize, kids who were doing it for themselves tended to do better than those who were doing for the prize. But it was best they found that the best was the unknowing prize. So working by yourself and then not expecting anything, but getting something in return really helped those students. So, how are you what are you doing things for? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it um for other things? When it comes to school, there's two different ways that you can kind of look at it. Are you doing it for the grade? Are you doing it for that extrinsic motivation where you want a good grade? Or are you doing it for intrinsic motivation where you just want to learn and you desire to know more? Well, how do we increase the motivation in both us and in our students? Through our studies, we learned a lot about how to increase the motivation, and it's by doing these simple steps where both of these motivations can be good, but it's not great to rely on just one or just the other, like we learned in that study, that a little bit of both was able to help students be able to learn and grow more. So, what would be good for this is to have motivation be like training wheels, where you're using that extrinsic motivation to kind of help build that intrinsic motivation. If you rely just on one or just the other, some people are going to have different intrinsic motivation than other students. And you want to be able to grow that intrinsic motivation because those who are pushed by what they want end up doing better and more things. There's a book called Drive, which explains this in a corporate explanation where people were people who are driven by intrinsic motivation and knowing that they might not get a prize and they're able to do things without kind of being hovered over or be told exactly what to do. They're able to come up with more advanced tools and different things, really helping that motivation and being able to help have better products. And this is the same way that can be used in the classroom. So that is my presentation. Thank you.